Kristin. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. You might wonder if the Hot Mess Express has made a second stop. You know, it might have. But I wanted to share with you maybe some of my process of how I go ahead and complete a Craft Roulette card. Kind of in the middle of it. And as you can see, I cover every available space with crafty goodness. Well, here's what I have so far for the parameters this week, which were 4-bar, craft store colors, sewing, sewn, and stencil. Well, I took this little card base that I have. Really, this is about a 5x7 folded in half. So if you had a pretty 5x7 nesting die, this probably could work too. But I had this wonderful set from the Stamps of Life. Let me see if I can find it here so I can get the correct name. This is the A1 double scallop card die set. It comes with some other items. So I was able to cut the card base from the Stamps of Life candy color and then used the matting die layer to get something fun for the top. Now for the base layer, top layer, I guess you would call it, that's what I used the die for. But to get this pattern, that was also a Stamps of Life stencil. Now that stencil is currently only available in the Fold It Club for May of 2025. It's this cute bird and nest set, which together, if the bird's head isn't sticking up too much, will fit on an A2 card. So I do hope you get the chance to check out the stampsoflife.com for their Fold It Club. I'll link some information below too. But with this particular month, there was a 3 layering stencil to create these flowers, so that's what I went ahead and did. Here's one colorway that they show on the packaging. I went, as I do not have Stamps of Life colors, these similar colors in my stash, I did use some from Gina K that I had. I used light and medium carnation along with light spruce to make up the background, and I thought that went together pretty well with the candy color for the card base. Now, as a fun extra bonus that you could sign up for with the Fold It Club for an additional $8 per month, you can get a cute 4x4 stamp set that coordinates with the Stamp and Die with the Fold It for that particular month, and you get the cute little icons and some sayings that are going to go with it. I used this It's Your Birthday. No, I didn't. I used It's Your Day. I should look at what I did, right? So I thought that was cute. I used a Gina K Designs border strip die to help cut that out. I did use her fun trick that she showed on a Craft Roulette episode not too long ago by putting it down in your stamp positioner and just basically just stamping and putting this over so you can line it up appropriately, and it worked. It worked really well. So I might keep this as a template for the future. And by putting, I knew I wanted this little bird. This is the bird that came from the current Fold It Club from Stamps of Life, but I knew I wanted to use her in some way, shape, or form. So I went ahead and colored her up with both the light and the medium carnation type inks to kind of bring out her coloring. Her coloring I did on this was inspired by a card I saw uploaded to the Stamps of Life gallery by Melissa Miner. She did it in the Stamps of Life color of Sky, which I thought was really pretty, along with using the background too with the Sky color. Sky is kind of a bluish type color, not quite cornflower blue, but very something similar. And I really liked how she kind of shaded in her bird, and I thought, oh, I'm going to do that too. The beak here I used with a piece of pattern paper that I had from Stamps of Life, but on the back it's this cantaloupe color that they offer. So I thought that went really well. That way the beak doesn't stand out too much. I have a green diamond dot for her eyeball I auditioned black, I've auditioned silver, and I really like how this green one kind of tied in the green from the background since I don't really have any other green in the card. And she was looking cute on there, but maybe not as cute as I thought she could be. So I went ahead and was starting to audition different sizes. Let me go ahead and glue this down while we get talking about that. And she was just not standing out as much as I would have liked. So what I did was, again, audition. Do you do that with your cards? I do a lot, and I think that's why probably I'm not as quick as can be, because I like to make sure I'm really getting the option that I like. So it was between this stitched oval die. Now with this particular stitch one, it is an older one. It just does the stitch lines, and you would have to go ahead and cut out the actual oval shape or just use the stitches as a background. They do have dies, I believe, available that would cut this out. I just don't own them at this time, so I fussy cut around there to kind of get an option. And I thought, well, that doesn't look too bad, and I thought vellum would probably be the best way so you could still see the ink blending I did, but it wouldn't be too in your face and cover up too much of the background. Not to mention that for the sewing type parameter, the stitching is quite available on that oval to give it a faux look, but it would still count. The other option I have is this pin dot. This is also from the Stamps of Life, and I thought either this way, maybe this way, and the pin dots could also resemble a faux stitching effect. But with the size of Miss Birdie here, I think you kind of lose some of the shape, and it maybe didn't make a lot of sense. So I went ahead and just decided on the oval since Miss Birdie is kind of tall. Let's go ahead and glue her down. Now, of course, this is going on vellum, so it may or may not dry super quick, but I think it'll work out just fine. Not as worried about these tiny little feeties because I have a plan to kind of cover some of that up. Now, because it's vellum and I'm not sure exactly where my item is going to go on here, I think I'm going to go ahead and place her on just the vellum first to kind of get an idea. See it, I don't know if you could see the glue wormies back there, but they're not too bad. The vellum's going on the card base, so not the end of the world. Let's go ahead now, and I'm just gonna glue back here. I'm sure as many of you crafters know with vellum, just gonna glue right back here where Birdie is touching the vellum, but not the actual vellum itself, so I don't see the glue lines. Okay, pretty good. We'll go with that. Okay, now for some extra added decoration, I went ahead and cut some flowers out, also from the Stamps of Life, from this set, from this A1 side pop-out card die. I've got several A1 card sizes from the Stamps of Life, so that 4-bar parameter, that one was a piece of cake this week for me. I picked out this smaller little flower die. The shadow layer that often comes with many Stamps of Life dies, I didn't choose to use this time. I did cut one out to see, and it didn't quite have a look that I was really liking at that moment. I think it would be very handy to have, and I'm glad that I have it, but just for this particular card, it took too much away from the background, I think. So I just used the center die and cut out these little flowers. Went ahead and also used the Gina K inks. I also colored the centers in the pink, but just a little bit darker so that way they stood out, but not a completely different color. I wasn't sure I wanted to bring in like a brown or a yellow to this particular card color. Speaking of card colors, craft store card colors, or just craft store colors for the parameter. Yeah, I really liked how that worked because that could mean anything, because there are probably often these supplies that I did get from my local craft store or even from an online craft store. So let's take a look. We'll do, I think I auditioned one about here, one over here when I get that glued. I thought a trio of flowers looked pretty nice, and I tried to find a shape that was similar to some of the flowers, like this one here from the background stencil. I have plenty of Stamps of Life flower dies in the various sets that I have, so that really wasn't too much of an issue coming up with those. The hardest part was probably looking through my stash or looking through the list that I have on the computer of different things. Now, I'm not sure if I will go ahead and add some fun jewels to the center of this. Maybe some Stickles glitter glue could be fun. Maybe I'll do some of that just to give a little oomph to the center of the flower. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I think we're going to be calling that pretty good. Let's get the sentiment on. What do we think about there? That way it's not too much. I thought putting it all more in this kind of clustery fashion over here might work, but would that take too much away? Then I'm covering up that pretty flower and her tail, so I think I might go up top there. But if you had a different suggestion, please let me know. Or if you have a different colorway that maybe you'd like to see, hey, these would certainly be fun to do in all the different colorways. Team Orange, yes please. Okay, let's perimeter check it, shall we? We had 4 projects this week for episode 267 of Craft Roulette. 4-bar, yep, I got that. Craft store colors, you definitely see pinks and greens and whites in a craft store. And for the sewing or sewn parameter, the faux stitch look that I had on that oval. And of course, stencil. The background of this was the stencil, that triple layer stencil from the Stamps of Life that does this cool flower pattern. I think I'm going to use this one a lot. It definitely is floral neutral, if you will, but could be used in lots of different fun colorways. Well, I appreciate you stopping by today. Thanks for hanging out with me while I completed my Craft Roulette card. If you have any questions about anything or just want to say hi, do let me know in the comments below. Hope you like, hope you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.